Ken, if you could recommend just one book for those guys who are starting out in their careers, what would it be?
Jim Collins' Good to Great. You know, it's a number of really important vignettes that one must understand in running a business. So for example, one of the key parts of the book is around building your team. Going back to that very first question, getting the right people on the bus, getting the wrong people off the bus. Once you've got the right people around you, you can take that bus anywhere. And he's got a number of very important, readily digestible vignettes that I think help people to understand the essence of what it takes to build a great business.
Great.
And then the second thing I would say is, what book should you read? You should read books that speak to the domain knowledge of the job you have. Like you spoke about in your early days at Accenture, you self-taught yourself a number of skills to make yourself more valuable, more important. I can't tell you, we hire endless numbers of really bright undergraduates. Some of them have this belief that when you graduate from college, you're done reading textbooks. And nothing can be further from the truth. Like it's really important to always be immersing yourself in the literature, whether it's published literature on the academic networks you can access through Google Scholar. I can't tell you how many S&P books I've read over the years, and how to think about credit risk, because we've invested in credit for 35 years. It's always just trying to stay current in the body of knowledge that represents the career you've chosen. And by the way, if it's not interesting to you, you pick the wrong career. Like, it's that simple. So if you're early in your career and you find yourself not interested in reading the books about the domain you're in, you know what? Pick a new career. And in America in particular, that's totally fine. Like, no one will judge you from going from one career to a radically different field throughout your 20s.
Great. Martina, have you experienced kind of a mic drop moment from early on in your career? So something that maybe accelerated your growth or just set you apart as a leader?
I'm not sure if it set me apart as a leader, but it was definitely a mic drop moment, which I think grew me by virtue of the situation. So I was in my mid-20s. I think I'd been in the US maybe 3 years, something like that, mid to late 20s. And I was consulting for a very large American bank, and I had a particular skill going back. This was a reason why I had been staffed on a particular project, and the news had gone to the COO of this bank that there was a woman on the project team who could brief him on this particular topic. This bank wanted to invest in B2C consumer financial portals, which at the time, if you remember, was very popular. And I got a call saying, right, you're going to have to get on the jet. He's going out to the West Coast and you can brief him on the way. And I thought, oh my God, I have arrived in America. This is incredible. I can't believe it, So that was definitely a mic drop moment. But it's sort of like the power of, it goes back to like the power of that you're saying about just immersing yourself in subject matter, and how important it is to be the person who's got like access to the facts. It's so critical.
And I'll make one more point. You didn't ask what your schedule was. You're like, I will be on that plane. Right? And that goes back to the hustle point, right? Like, the worst thing you could have done is like, well, I've got a commitment with friends or this or that.
You step into it.
You just step right into it.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
And there are moments where you have to just step into the moment. And these are very important moments in one's career, because they often open new doors. They establish those relationships where people realize, like, if I have an issue, I have a problem, I have a challenge, I can rely upon you to get the job done. And those are really important moments to step up your game.